I told you I was gonna make a video showing you how I put this thing together or give you some tips on what I did. This isn't a new design. I found a whole bunch of videos on YouTube and across a bunch of Halloween groups that I'm a part of, and just kind of looked at videos and tried to replicate it, which is always trial and error because I didn't know any of the cuts on any of the PVC. So I'm not even sure if what I've done is right, but it's working, and you may want to make adjustments on yours. I took a picture and made some of the cuts that I put all of the cuts that I made on it. And so I tried to make it as clear as possible. I'll also list some of the supplies that I used, and then you'll just have to go from there. A little bit of it's just trial and error adjustments that I had to make, and you'll probably have to make too. So here, let me show you what I got here. This is my girl. Her hands aren't secured right now, so they've been kind of wanting to fall off the stick. I'm gonna have to secure them to the stick so they don't fall apart. Anyway, I've got, this is just one of these foam heads. I've got this mask I got off of Amazon on there. Yesterday, or when I took this first video, informational video, I did not have the arms on yet. On this side, the arms are just connected by, I just drilled holes and put the zip ties in there so that it could move freely. And then this arm on this side is stationary. And then the hands, people have been asking me about the hands. The hands I found off of Amazon for $9.99, and the witch mask I found off of Amazon. I don't know, it was like $15 or something. It was pretty cheap. I'll show you down inside the cauldron here. And I'm not finished with this. I need to drill a hole for the wire there to go out the back. And I didn't really secure anything very well yet because I just wanted to see how it was going to operate before I started doing anything permanent. I've got it sitting on a pillow because I'm going to be making some coals for underneath, and I kind of wanted to get an idea of the height there. Anyway, I have written on that picture that I took of this, all of the cuts that I made on these, and I'll show you the little mechanism here. Come around this side, you might be able to see it a little bit better. There we go. This is a hurricane tie that's attached to this motor. I got this motor, this reindeer motor, off of Kindy Christmas supply store for like $13. And when I got it and realized how great it was, I went back and ordered some more. So got some other things I want to try to get animated that are in my yard, because right now I only have static props. This here I found, I walked all over Lowe's looking for something like this bar right here, and finally found it in the plumbing section when I went over there to get my PVC. And I just used cotter pins here, which I pretty much just followed this whole setup off of another video I found on YouTube. I use a cotter pin and a couple of these. I had to add some little washers in there because I felt like it was helping it move a little more smoothly. And you can see up here on the neck, it was hard for me to, on the neck parts, I've got these labeled here. It was hard for me to get all of that on the page, so I had to write them down at the bottom if you're looking for those. I tried to make them as obvious as possible. I just screwed this in here. I took out the 2 screws and ended up, they did not go all the way through, but I ended up screwing it through the PVC pipe and directly to the motor. These little motors are kind of cool because they have this additional plug on them. So that might be helpful for lights or whatever else I need to hook up with this girl. Anyway, that is about it. I'm planning on trying to figure out some way to put fog in here. I painted the inside of it white because I figured it would help it glow a little bit more with the lights. And I don't know if I'm using a fog machine. I have a small mister that I used last year that changes colors. I may put that down in the bottom of it. I have enough room down in there. I just, you can see what I did with these wood pieces right here. I just nailed them together to kind of give a solid base, and I just zip tied it for right now till I figure out if this is how I'm going to leave it. Her hands I'll have to paint and fix up. I'm going to give her some, I think, some black nails. And anyway, I think that's probably about it. This piece here that's in the middle is, oh, there goes her stick. This piece here that's that's in the middle is 1.5 inch, excuse me, it's a 1/2 inch PVC pipe, where the rest of it is all 3/4 inch. All of the fittings are 3/4 inch PVC, and this just kind of rests there. I put a couple of screws in right here to keep it from sliding back and forth. It just kind of stays in one place and rocks back and forth. Also, I may end up cutting her necks down some. It actually will go up in this. I don't have it pushed all the way up in there, but I may go ahead and cut that down a little bit more once I have her dressed and see if her neck's not a little too long. Anyway, this arm is a little bit longer than the other because I wasn't sure. I just left it. I wasn't sure how long I needed it, and I wanted to make sure it had the motion to move around the way it needed to. I figured I'd rather cut it down than have to recut a new one to go in there. I'm trying not to waste PVC if I don't have to. Anyway, I guess that's about it. I've got some clothes already that I'm dressing her with, and so I've got a little bit more work to do, and I'm going to make some coals. I'll show you the picture of the coals that I'm doing for underneath. I already had made some last year, but this was a hanging urn last year. So now I've got to make a new one so that it can sit right on top. Okay, well, if you have any questions, let me know. I'll help any way I can. So here's the picture with all of the measurements. The feet are 12 inches, the lower legs at 15 inches. We have the support at the knees at 13.5 inches. The upper legs are at 18 inches. The hips 13.5 inches, but you will have to cut the ends to make the connections for the ribs. Also, the ribs going up are at 21.5 inches. The 1/4 inch PVC pipe that's in the neck, in the shoulder, excuse me, is 9.5 inches. And the connection for the neck just rests on that. I do have 2 screws there to hold the neck in place where it pivots. Then we've got some 2 inch and 2.5 inch for the arms on each side of that. The arms, on one side, the stationary arm, it's 10 inches for the top of the arm and 9.5 for the forearm. And then on the other side, it's a little bit longer. It's 10.5 for the upper arm, and I have 11 on the forearm. I have the lower neck at 19.5 inches, and I have the upper neck at 9.5 inches. And then I have circled in pink those small connections and put those in the lower left-hand corner of the picture because it was too hard to write them in those places. Anyway, I think that pretty much covers everything here. Hopefully you'll be able to write these down and put it together the way it should go. So I have some pictures that follow that show all of the tools and pieces that I use to put this thing together. And hopefully that will be helpful in what you will need to finish building this thing. I used some regular acrylic paint to paint over the hands and then just glued on some fake fingernails and painted them black. Then you may want to add some clear sealant over the top.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.